guys. Hope you're doing great today. We are going to be talking about finding factor pairs. It's kind of fun, so hopefully you'll think so too. Right up here it says find factor pairs. A factor pair for a number is two whole numbers whose product, so when you times them, is that number. For example, 2 and 5 is a factor pair for 10, because you can see that when you say 2 times 5, you get 10. So if I was writing the factor pairs for 10, okay, I could say that I like to start with 1 first. So let's start with 1. Is 1 anything times 10? Well, I can go 1 times 10 is 10, right? So that's a factor pair that equals 10. Let's see if I do 2. Remember the example they gave was 2 and 5. Is 2 times 5 10? Yes, it is. So, and those are the factor pairs for 10. There aren't any more, okay? So let's say that the magic number in this next part, it says we're going to draw arrays to show the factor pairs for 12. So the magic number is switching to 12. Okay, so let's try 12. Okay, something times something equals 12. So let's start with 1. Well, we know that anything times itself is that number. So 1 times 12, that's a pair, isn't it? How about 2? What times 2 would be 12? Can you write it right here before Mrs. Hagen? 2 times, did you put 6? There's another pair. And then how about we go to 3? 3 times something is 12. What is that number? 3 times 4. So there are 3 pairs for the number 12. Now, you can see in the graph that they want us to draw the array. They already did 1 times 12, didn't they? Okay, so we can cross that one off the list, okay? We are going to draw 2 times 6. And you can do them anywhere you want on the grid. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go 2 down times 6 across. You got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so 2 times 6. So we did that one, and our last one is 3 times 4. I'm going to come over here in my little space, and I'm going to go 3 down times 4 across. And label them for me. That would be great. Kind of fun, right? And then it says list the factor pairs for 12. Well, we already did that right up here, but we can write them again. Okay, so I have 1 and 12, comma, then I have 2 and 6, comma, and my last one is 3 and 4. So I listed my factor pairs, all right? Now they're going to give us different mystery numbers, okay? I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. And they're going to give us a number, and we need to come up with all the pairs, okay? We might not be using all of the spaces in these, okay? And I'll tell you which ones we're not going to use, okay? For instance, on this one, we're going to X out the 2 bottom ones. And on this one, we're going to X out the 2 bottom ones. And then the rest of them should be good. So let's look at our magic number. 32 for the first one, okay? All right, so 32 is the number that I need to get to when I times my 2 numbers. And they're kind of nice because they kind of started for us, didn't they? They did the easy one. They did 1 times, just pretend there's a time sign here, 1 times 32, okay, is 32. So they did that pair. Now, what if I did 2? 2 times something is 32. Well, I'm kind of going, well, I know 2 15s is 30. Okay, so I'm going to go up one more. I think 2 times 16 is 32. Okay, I'm going to just do my work on the side here and check it. So I'm going to say, I'm going to come over right here and I'm going to say 16 times 2. Let's check that. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1. Yep, it is 2 times 16. Okay. And there's one more. Okay. It's not going to be 3 because 3 does not go evenly into the number. That's why some numbers don't work, guys, because they don't fit in evenly and they don't have a pair that works. Okay. But I'm going to tell you that 4 is going to be our next one. And you guys are really good at your multiplication facts. So 4 times something is 32. What number would that be? 4 times something is 32. See if you can write it in before me. Did you say 4 times 8? I bet you did. Okay, so that was our magic number there. Okay, let's keep going. We have a new magic number now, and it is 44. They always do that easy one for us, don't they? That's okay. We'll get her done. All right, so my next one, and Mrs. Hagen's going to give you some hints. I'm going to tell you that these two numbers are 2 and 4. So you need to figure out what numbers you're going to times to get to that magic number of 44. So 2 times, well, I know that 2 20s is 40. So we got to go a little bigger than that, right? Okay, so how about 22? Let's try that. Okay, so I'm going to say 22 times 4, 2 times, times 2, 22 times 2, Mrs. Hagen, put a 2 there. Let's start that over. Okay, I'm running out of room. 22 times 2. There we go. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So our answer is 22. Okay, now think about 44. How many times can I fit 4 into 44? Well, I know that 4 10s is 40. So how about we try 11? Okay, 11 times 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. Yep, 11 works. So 4 and 11 is another pair. Okay, now on this next one, the magic number is 100. Okay, they started us out again. They said that 1 times 100 is 100. Okay, I'm going to give you the numbers that go down the side. Okay, so I've got 2. Sorry, we got to make it a little darker. 2, 4, 5, and 10. So you're going to figure out, all right, which one is going to be the time. So 2 times something is 100. Well, think about $1 if that helps you. How many 2 50s? 2 times 50, 50 plus 50 is 100. So 2 times 50. Okay. Now how many, think about $1 again. I have 4 of something. 4 what? What's half of 50? 4 times, did you put down 25? 4 25s is 100. 25 plus 25 plus 25 plus 25. Okay, now I'm doing 5 count bys. Well, you could count on your fingers until you got to 100. Okay, but I know it's going to be less than 25, right? So I'm going to go, let's try 20 times 5. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times, yep, there you go. So it's 5 times 20. All right, and I think you can get this last one now. You're by yourself. How many 10s are in 100? Count by 10s. and figure out what number goes right here. Do that one on your own. 10 times something is 100. Okay. All right, do that one on your own. All right, we're going to talk about the two on the bottom here. List all the factor pairs for each number. Okay, the number is 29. So it's not an even number, is it? Okay, so look what happens. When I start to think of pairs, the only thing that really works with 29 is going to be 1 and 29. Okay, that's a pair. You can either, we should actually put and in the middle, guys. 1 and 29, because there's nothing that I can times that's going to come out evenly that's going to equal 29. And you can kind of tell that by looking at 29, that when you know your multiplication table, there isn't anything that we can times to equal 29. So the only pair is when they say write all of them, there's only one for that one. Okay? But how about 63? Always start with that 1 first. So what's my first pair? 1 and 63. And then you have 1 done already. Okay, and because it's an odd number, I'm not going to do 2. I'm going to go to 3. 3. How many 3s are in 63? Okay, if I don't want to count those up because that's a lot, I can divide 3 into 63 to get that number. How many 3s fit into 6? 3, 6. So there's 2 times 3 is 6. And I can subtract how many 3s. I brought down my 3. How many 3s fit into 3? 1. Okay, so I know that my other number, 3 times 21, is 63. Okay, and there's one more. We're doing a lot of these together, guys, because it's our first day, and that's okay. This next one I think you're going to be able to get because it's on your multiplication table, and it's 7 and something equals 63 if I times them. 7 times blank. I want you to write that in there for me. You can do it. 7 times something is 63. Okay? And then you're going to meet me on page 220 when you are ready. All right, hang in there, guys. We got this. All right, hang in there with me for today, guys, because we have one more kind of new thing that we're going to learn about. We learned about factor pairs. Now we're going to be learning about prime and composite numbers. Just getting introduced to this. This is a 4th grade skill. Okay, we're going to figure out what those mean. Okay, let's read in the blue box. A number greater than 1 that has 1 and itself as its only factor pair is a prime number. Some prime numbers are 2, 5, 11, and 23. So think about what I gave as that definition. It's a prime number if the only factor pair, remember back on that page we just did when we had 29 and the only factor pairs were 1 and 29? That's because we know then that that's a prime number when it only has one factor pair of 1 and itself. Okay? They gave us some other examples here. 2, 5, 11, and 23. There aren't numbers that you can times to get to those numbers. Okay, so if I was figuring out the factor pairs of those, it would only be 1 and itself. Okay, that's for prime. Okay, this would be prime right here. P for prime. Now, a number, look, let's read the next part. A number greater than 1 that has more than one factor pair. Okay, remember when we did the other page that there were some where we had 4 or 5 pairs, right? That's called a composite number. Some composite numbers are 4, 12, 25, and 100. Remember on the other page we just did 100. Did it have more than one pair? Yes, it did. So it's a composite number. And then it says, this is kind of something to remember. The number 1, hold up one finger, the number 1 is neither prime nor composite. So it's kind of like a special number. If you're ever on a test and they say, is 1 a prime number or composite or neither, you would say neither, okay? It's the only number. It's a very special number. All right, so let's go down to our next section. It says use the counters to model the arrays for all the factor pairs for 24. Okay, so just like we did on the other page, we're going to see, does 24 have more than one factor pair? And they gave us a little picture here. This is 2 times 12, isn't it? So we know that 2 and 12 is one of our pairs. Okay, we also know that 1 and 24 is one of our pairs, don't we? Okay, so it already has 2, doesn't it? So let's see if we can, what about 3? Is 3 times something 24? You know that. 3 times something is 24. See if you can write it right here. 3 times 8 is 24. So we can see already, okay, we could keep going and we could do 4 times 6 is also a pair. So they're asking us on number 9, is 24 a prime number? Well, remember, if they have more than one pair, what happens? If they have more than one pair, they are composite. Okay? So if they're asking if 24 is a prime or composite number, how would you answer that? You would say composite, wouldn't you? And it says to explain your answer, but we kind of did that right here. We showed that it was composite because it had more than one pair. Now, look down below. You get to decide whether a number is prime or composite. And a lot of times you can tell by looking at the number, guys, that it's going to be hard to come up with more than one pair for some of these, because you can tell they're different numbers that you don't see on your times table. That's a good way to do it. So for prime or composite, we're going to write P or C. Okay? So I want you to do some of these on your own, but I also help you with a couple, right? So remember the difference. If it only has that one pair, it's prime. Okay? Now, let's do the first one together. 99. Okay? I know that I have 1 and 99, don't I? I'm going to just write that over here. So I have 1 and 99. 2 does not work, but 3 would work because 3 goes into 99 evenly. Okay, it goes in 33 times. 3 times 33. So I can stop right there, and I already know that it has more than one pair. Okay, so it's going to be C for composite. Okay. All right, let's look at 72. Okay. Think about your times table. You know it's on your times table, and there's more than one pair because I have 1 and 72. Well, I also know that 9 times 8 is 72, don't I? So I already have 2, so I know that's another C. Okay? So I'm going to give you a little hint here, and I'm going to tell you that if you do this correctly, you're going to have 5 C's. Okay? We already have 2, don't we? This section right here, you're going to have 5 C's, and you are going to have 4 P's. So Mrs. Higgins giving you a little clue to help you. All right, we are going to cross out number 19, and you will be good today. Have a great day, guys.